finally, someone is making 1.9 pin tires, and I couldn't be happier. If you're at all into the comp crawling scene, then the Axial Capra UTB18 has probably been on your radar. This little vehicle has been rejuvenating the Mini 1.9 class this last year or so, to my delight, because it's one of my favorite classes. Today, in our journey to get the most comp-friendly crawler we can make out of this thing, I wanted to show you something new from RC four-wheel drive. So until now, if you wanted 1.9 pin tires, you had to take some other tire, cut up one of the bigger 2.2 comp tires, cut it into some ribbons, and then use super glue or similar to glue that onto the sidewall, and even to glue the thing together. This is made of several bands of ribbon, and that's how I've got several comp wheels in 1.9. I've been asking manufacturers, just little old me, I've been asking them to make 1.9 pin tires. I didn't ask RC four-wheel drive, but clearly I'm not the only one who's been wanting this, because finally they've got what's called a bully comp tire, and here it is. It's actually about the same size as what I had, just a shade bigger. I haven't actually measured the size of the thing, but I'll stick it on screen after. Comes with dual stage foams. There's a soft outer and a medium density inner. And I've mounted mine on just plastic beadlock wheels because I like lightweight. Now, I recently did a video on my chassis that shows that it's finally ready. This is a custom chassis for the UTB18, gets the skid nice and low. Check that video out there if you haven't seen it. To turn this thing into a comp crawler, I also, in another video, which I'll put in the description so I don't have to point up here all the time, I also put a different motor in. We're going to test some different brushless ESCs soon. Many of you don't like the scream that the motor makes because of the ESC I've got in here, and that's fine. Apologies in advance, but we're going to hear it again today because I'm using the Mamba Micro ESC, which makes this little outrunner kind of shrill, but it's the performance that I'm interested in. So I'm still using the stock links, stock drivetrain, stock shocks, inverted though, and just some brass up front and some overdrive in the front diff and in the portals in the front. And of course my custom designed chassis, which is a bolt-on upgrade. Let's get this thing on the rocks. I want to see what these pins are like. Now, I often cut out some of the pins on my tires, something I've done for a while, and I've experimented, and I find in the front I like half the pins gone, and in the rear sometimes I'll cut them, sometimes I'll leave them. This thing has 3 different kinds of pins on the tread. It's got like a little U shape on the outside, then there's like an 8 or an infinity symbol and an X, and then the little U shapes alternate on each side. It's an interesting tread. It's omnidirectional. I've just fitted it with 8mm hexes, and I suppose we're going to see how it crawls. Most recently you saw this on the 6 problems. I might do a split screen so you can see how this was recently, because the only change I've made, they're both lightweight wheels, the only change I've made is these tires. Right, enough talk, let's do a comparison, see how this goes on the 6 problems. Let's do it. Alright, here's problem 1. First time I've driven with these tires, and I'll apologise to some of you who are bugged by this motor sound. My aim will be to remove this sound soon. I've got a few ESCs coming, and we are going to have a little play and see what we can find. So that's problem 1 clean. Straight into problem 2. Sorry, filming and driving. Oh, I like how these tires feel. Now I haven't washed them. I haven't done anything to them yet. Sometimes there's residue on the tire. These are actually not particularly sticky, which I like. And into problem 3. We're going to attack it from a bit of an angle. Oh yeah, they're good. Look at that. Good grip. I like these. They're more sure-footed than the other ones I've got actually. Into problem 4. Overdrive helping keep us pointing in the right direction here. That would have been a mess, but we're actually quite intact. Yeah, I'm liking this rubber. I really appreciate that they've included dual foams as well. They didn't have to do that. The steering link's caught up. There we go. This is where I like to have a couple of lugs removed from pin tires. I just I feel like it catches a little bit better. We might have to try that because it's actually struggling to hook up. Put it back a little. Oh, put it back with some help. Alright, looks good though. Now I've kept the wheels light because the weight is in the brass. Yeah, this is where I'd really like to have just some pins missing from the front. That will give it some gap, hopefully it'd help it grab. All the same, it's grabbed on just fine. We might move the camera. As we continue across, that was actually the hardest transition, and this part will be easy for it. And through. I don't know if that was easier or harder. I think that did it a bit harder. Into problem 5. Now we filmed the other one from the other side, so this won't help my side-by-side comparison, I'm sorry, but we can at least get the alignment correct. I steered badly last time. That was just about effortless, wasn't it? And finally, problem 6. Now this is where having lightweight wheels is actually nice, because I can, if I need to recover and flick quickly, I rather expected that was coming. There's not a lot of rotational mass when I had to reverse quickly. It doesn't give me unpredictable movement like heavy wheels could. I still have the weight thanks to those knuckles and C-hubs up front, but when I rotate the wheels quickly, I'm not paying for it with anything unpredictable. Ooh, the tyres scrunch up nicely too, don't they? Look at that. So I'm sorry if that noise is irritating, but certainly the results are hard to argue with. I quite enjoy doing the 6 problems with a capable car because it's always really short. Some of those older videos where we're testing and trying, they can really drag out. Okay, so what I don't have with these new tyres is those nice gaps. You see, there's actually quite a lot less gap with the new ones. That means more contact area on the rock, which is a positive, but there's less of like a grippy lug to kind of grab into rock holes and clefts. And I felt like this thing was kind of skimming over it. I am seriously considering just taking some very, you know, the flat snips you can use with wires, and just cutting out a little pattern of it just to give me some semblance of a gap. So I've got a little bit more gap to just grip on rocks, and I think I'll do that on the front. I don't think it's necessary on the rear. Now the tyres are part Z or Z-T0277. I bought 2 of them. It uses their X2S3 compound, and it's the only option you have for 1.9 pin tyres to my knowledge on the market. I would love to see some other 1.9 pin tyres out there, because this is something that's actually been missing. Again, cutting these up, it's tedious and the results are never perfect, and you're always re-gluing little gaps because the gaps just happen as you use them. I rate these overall. I think if you're looking to build up a comp crawler based on the UTB18, my chassis, free of charge, RC-TNT.com. Again, check out the playlist, I'll put that down below. It shows you the journey I've taken to make this thing good. I've got the whole list of all the parts down below in the description. You put the brass up front only, not in the back. Overdrive, the front diff, and the portal gears. Lightweight wheels, okay, with that brass up front. Pin tires, DIY. Otherwise, the Proline trenches in 1.9, in the 4.19 size are also, I think, pretty good for this. Now the foams that these come with are appropriate for this. If you're thinking of these tires for a heavier comp car, you're going to need stiffer foams. They're just about perfect, and I'd even guess that they're made for the UTB18, I don't know that, but and otherwise you don't need to spend money on links and drive shafts and stuff, not even the skid. You don't need to go and buy all the ALU stuff. Seriously, just use my chassis. You print it out, you need a few screws and stuff, see the last video for that, and you'll have a very capable little comp rig. I'm increasingly happy with this. My next move is going to be to maybe snip some of these pins off the fronts only, and then I'll have a fiddle. I'll let you know how we go. Thanks for watching, guys. Throw me a like, and I'll catch you again on RC-TNT. Cheers.